Welcome back to Running Sports, everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're here to go over the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders and also to go over the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Before we get into the recap, please hit that like button, subscribe button to the YouTube channel for more great content coming up. First, we're going to start off with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. We're going to go over the Commanders' stats. It wasn't really nothing all that great. Marcus Mariota, 7-14 for 95 yards. He got hurt, had to be replaced by Josh Johnson, 5 of 9 for 43 yards. He had an interception. Chris Rodriguez Jr. had 15 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. Ja'Cory Merritt, if that's how you say his name, had 8 carries for 25 yards and 1 touchdown. Washington's defense played really well. I thought Dan Quinn coached a really good game for their defense in the first half. In the first half, they were up 10-7 against this Philly team. The Philadelphia didn't score in the second quarter. Dan Quinn took over the play calling responsibilities for this defense, and they were playing fantastic in that first half. But then in the second half, obviously, Philadelphia came back and won this football game. They scored 7 points in the third quarter, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Washington scored 8 points in the fourth quarter to make the final score 29-18. I picked Philadelphia to win this game. If you look at Jalen Hurts, he was 22 of 30, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns, 6.2 average. He was only sacked 2 times. Mariota and Josh Johnson was also sacked too. Saquon Barkley, like I said in my predictions video, 21 carries, 132 yards and a touchdown. He had to have a touchdown, and he had to have over 100 yards rushing. I said this about this team. I said if you could do it against the Raiders, you could do it against the Commanders, because the Commanders football team, his defense has not been playing well. Now, their defense did play well in this game because Dan Quinn was calling the plays, and they actually played well, at least in the first half. But I said to myself, and said to y'all, that watching this game, Saquon Barkley, I get 100 yards. And looking at their receiving core, A.J. Brown had 9 catches for 95 yards. He was 5 yards off of what I said. He had to get 100 as well. Devontae Smith, 6 catches, 42 yards and a touchdown. Good by him. Dallas Goedert, 3 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. This is a great game by the Philadelphia Eagles. They were expected to win. They should have won. They won a division for the first time in back-to-back years in over 20 years. No team in this division, has won the division in back-to-back years since 2004, which is absolutely crazy that in this division alone, that nobody has won it back-to-back. And with your win, you kick the Dallas Cowboys to the playoffs, so I guess that's going to give Philly fans some extra motivation. One of the problems I had in this game, and before I get to that problem, is I just want people to stop trying to fire Nick Sirianni. We have got to stop doing that. He went to 2 Super Bowls. He's going to the playoffs again. He's a successful coach. We have to stop trying to fire everybody just because certain things get rocky or whatever the case may be. They're a good football team, lacking chemistry. A lot of it, to me, was on Jalen Hurts because their defense, Philly's defense, has been playing phenomenal to me all season long. It was the offense that was lacking. I know the offensive line, I know Lane Johnson was out, but Philadelphia got the victory. But stop trying to fire the head coach. He's a good head coach. The one problem I did have with him, though, is why do you guys, every time you go in the red zone, you go for the tush push? Enough. This is why they want this banned, because you guys keep doing it. Instead of saying it's a luxury to do it, you're doing it over and over and over again. You just continuously keep doing it. Let Jalen Hurts throw the ball. Get comfortable throwing the football. I said for some reason throughout this entire season with Philly's offense, it looks like they have no chemistry. Today was a bit better. There were some plays that Jalen Hurts could have had back, but all in all, he still played well. I said he had to play well in this game. I wish he had some more yardage. He threw the ball 30 times, completed it 22 times. You had 185 yards passing. That should have been obviously a little bit more higher up. He did miss a couple throws. He completed 73.3% of his passes again. Once this offense is rolling, they're a dangerous football team, but their offense just hasn't been rolling all season. And that tush push is just getting annoying because I'm sitting there, they're on the goal line. Listen to me for a second, y'all. They're on the goal line. It's first down, and they run a tush push. Then they didn't get it, so then they ran it again. And then I think because there was a flag, they tried to run it again. Enough is enough. Go in the red zone and just throw the ball. Throw the football or run the football. One play, they tried to run the football twice and still got stuff. So it's like, no, if you can't run it in, if you can't push the line up and get that tush push, and you can't get Saquon Barkley into the end zone, then please pass the ball in the end zone. You're in the red zone for a reason. You're right there. And for some reason, even if you do a quarterback draw with Jalen Hurts not being the tush push, but doing quarterback draw, it's simple. Get him to get comfortable inside that red zone throwing that football and stop relying on a tush push. You're doing it. It should be a luxury to be able to do that when you can't get anything going or you're trying to get a first down, it's 31, and you truly need it. Then you use it. But until then, stop using it every single time. It was 2 straight plays. I'm sitting at the TV getting angry like, I don't want to yell, but just run another damn play. Like, what are you doing? I'm just getting angry because it's like, man, you continue to keep running this damn tush push. Stop doing it and call regular plays as a coach. Call regular plays on the offense. And eventually, Saquon Barkley had a nice run at the end. Almost looked like he was tackled. Basically, a great game for Philadelphia overall. Again, they're 10-5. They're 5-3 on the road. The Commanders, like I said, the only thing I can say about them is that they'll get healthy next year. I know a lot of the veteran players won't be there next year. Ian Rappaport kind of reported that for this team in particular, they brought veterans in to get Dan Quinn's meshes going. Now they're going to put a youth movement in, which they should be again. Get ready for that stadium being built. I know people don't want to hear about that, but you're getting a new stadium in D.C. That's what they should be looking forward to. Looking forward towards the draft and looking to keep their quarterback healthy and draft some good offensive linemen. You have some good defensive players. Now you need some offensive linemen who is going to block for Jayden Daniels so that he doesn't get hurt. And Jayden Daniels, your mission for next year is to continuously get rid of the football no matter what and stop holding on to the ball. I know you're fast and you can run, but that's how you're going to get hurt in this football league. You continuously keep holding that ball for too long. All in all, for me, again, Philadelphia did a great job. Next week they got Buffalo. That's their biggest test. And after that, they face the Commanders again, which they should win that game. So at the end of the day, Philadelphia should be either 11-6, they lose against Buffalo, or they win against Buffalo. They'll go to 11-5, and then they'll beat the Commanders in Week 18, and they'll be 12-5. And no, they should not rest their starters Week 18. They ain't good enough, and they haven't been dominating all year to rest your starters. If you rest your starters, that means you've been dominating all year. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, when they were dominating, and they were resting their starters in Week 18, and Patrick Mahomes only had to play 17 games, sometimes even 16 games, and he'll take off the 17th game or take off the 18th game now, or whatever you want to call it on the 18th week. That's when you take off. Other than that, no. They need to play out the rest of the season. But good on Philadelphia for winning this football game. As I said, that they should have won this game. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. And I'm not going to lie. I told y'all, in this game, even though we'll get to the Packers making a lot of mistakes, the fumbles that they had in this football game was a lot. But you got to give Caleb Williams his credit. We'll get to Caleb Williams, but first, Jordan Love did get hurt in this game. We wish him well. We hope that the concussion is not a long-term issue and that he can come back next week. Jordan Love was 8 for 13, 77 yards. He was playing well the entire time that he was out there. I know he had a fumble. I know he fumbled the football, though. He got hit really hard. He was getting popped in this game. He got popped so hard, his head went back. But when you look at Jordan Love, his head was leaning forward before the defender came and hit him. But he still suffered a concussion. He was out of the game. Malik Willis came in. He was 9 for 11, 121 yards and a touchdown. He had a nice throw in the end zone. He had a nice couple of runs as well. He had 10 carries for 44 yards. Emmanuel Wilson had 14 carries for 82 yards. Josh Jacobs had 12 carries for 36 yards in this football game. Romeo Doubs, 5 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. That was basically all she wrote for the Green Bay Packers. But if you look at the Chicago Bears, if you look at the first half, it was 6-0. Chicago didn't score in the first 2 quarters. It was 6-0. They come out. Chicago scores 3 points. And at the end of the third quarter, it's 13-3. Then after that, they score again. So now it's 16, but then they continuously getting field goals. Chicago starts to come back. Then after that, they have a nice touchdown. Hit like 3 field goals in a row. Then they had a nice touchdown. Then in overtime, they won. Now, Green Bay did, I think it was Romeo Doubs who had the ball on the onside kick. Fumbled that. Then they got the ball back on Malik Willis in overtime and fumbled that. So there was a lot of things that went in the Green Bay Packers' way as far as this game goes at first. But then as the game continuously progressed, Chicago basically took it from Green Bay when they started to make mistakes. So it was going Green Bay's way at first, even with Malik Willis coming in. And then after that, Chicago just took the game from them once they started fumbling and started making mistakes. So good thing for Caleb Williams. And I look at, again, all I know you guys, I say completion percentage all the time, and I'm looking at his stats to say, well, he only completed 55% of his passes, but he won the game, and he was phenomenal in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter and overtime, because the first 3 quarters, they couldn't get nothing going. I was shocked. I'm shocked that they won this game. They're 11-4 now, clearly leading this division. So good on Ben Johnson. Besides Kyle Shanahan, he's probably going to get the Coach of the Year, which I wouldn't be mad at either. Caleb Williams again was 19 of 34 for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. And the one important thing I said was that Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers defense wasn't going to get the pressure. They still didn't get the same pressure that they got when Micah Parsons did. That's how important he is. The defense played well overall in the game, but the fact that Caleb Williams, when you look at the numbers, he didn't get sacked at all. It says 0 sacks. It says Malik Willis was sacked twice for basically 6 yards, but Caleb Williams wasn't sacked at all, and I thought that was the most impressive thing out this entire game, that he didn't get sacked, because Green Bay's defense was blitzing him the entire game. If you look at the game, especially when he threw that touchdown pass to number 20, the wide receiver, to Jadon Walker, that's how you say his name, I apologize if I got it wrong, 2 catches for 21 yards and a touchdown. That was an amazing touchdown throw. He was being blitzed on that play. So, phenomenal job by Caleb Williams. This was the statement game that I'm saying that Trevor Lawrence needs to have. This was the statement game that Caleb Williams solidified himself as being the franchise quarterback, even though he's always going to be the franchise quarterback. But it's moments like this where you look at him and say, hey, man, you keep rolling like this, you keep getting your confidence, and now that you got your confidence, you keep it pushing, especially for this year and for next year, and you're on a rookie contract, so now you can bring in more players to be able to help you out. Now, next week, they have the 49ers at the 49ers, but that's going to be an amazing game in Chicago, and then after that, they have Detroit, which they really needed this win, because now if they, let's just say they lose to San Francisco, but then they face Detroit, they would still be ahead because they won this game against Green Bay. I know Jordan Love got hurt, but again, you had to take advantage of the fact that he got hurt. If he stays in the game, maybe it's different, maybe it's not. But all in all, this was a great out for the Chicago Bears at the end. Again, I was shocked. I was shocked when they fumbled that onside kick, and then after that, they go into, Caleb Williams threw that touchdown in the game to DJ. I thought it was great. Moore was great in this game. Now, next week, Green Bay, before I go back to Chicago, they're facing Baltimore, which is going to be a tough out. Now, I think they'll beat Minnesota in Week 18, but they're going to face Baltimore. Baltimore, they played well against Cincinnati last week, but I don't trust Lamar Jackson in that offense, because for me, they haven't played well since he threw 4 touchdowns against the Dolphins. So I'm having a bit of a problem trusting the Baltimore Ravens, so I trust Green Bay a lot more, but hopefully Jordan Love gets back. But Chicago, man, this was great. Again, the second half, Caleb Williams was amazing. And I said he needed this game. This was a must-win for Chicago in my game picks, and they won. And that's the one thing that you can just look at and say, hey, last year they may have lost this game because of the coaching and different things like that. But you got to give credit to Ben Johnson, the head coach. Swift, by the way, this running back duo on this team, as I'm looking at their stuff, looking at the numbers, I mean, Chicago ran the ball. Swift ran the ball for 13 times for 58 yards. Then Kyle, don't know how to pronounce his last name, had 9 carries, 50 yards, but he was running the ball really well as well. And then Caleb Williams just escaping the pocket, 3 carries for 30 yards. He was doing a great job. DJ Moore, 5 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. The Walker, had a touchdown as well. Basically had the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter, but then DJ Moore had the actual game-winning touchdown afterwards. This was an amazing game by Chicago, and a shout out to the Chicago's. Even though there was a lot of breakdowns, the offensive line still not allowing a sack, and that had a lot to do with Caleb Williams, but they still didn't, and he was being blitzed. So all in all, again, not an ideal first 3 quarters, but man, after that third quarter was over, they just came back and took advantage of all the mistakes that Green Bay was making. And now if you look at Chicago Bears, even though they're 2-3 in their division, Green Bay's 4-1, Detroit is 1-3, Minnesota's 2-2. They're still 6-1 at home, 5-3 on the road. They're 11-4. They have one more division game, which they should win that game against Detroit. That's going to come down. That's going to be. They're probably going to put that game on Sunday night. Maybe, we'll see, depending on how the rest of the schedule goes. But that's going to be a great game. It's to be determined, because obviously it's a flex game. They have to get everything situated after Week 17. But that 49ers game is going to be challenging because of the way that they're playing, and Robert Saleh has those boys playing down there in San Francisco. But all in all, again, Caleb Williams. First half, a lot left to be desired, but that second half, and that, especially that fourth quarter and that overtime, really show what he can be in the future and his greatness, because that was amazing. I'm still in shock. That's why I keep repeating myself. Like, I am in shock about how that game ended. But all in all, again, great job by Caleb Williams in that fourth quarter, especially in that overtime. I mean, he just marched down that field. The fourth quarter, he was going and going. Overtime, going and going. They fumbled that ball. They didn't get the 4th down. Then Caleb got the ball back. 2 plays after that third play, boom, the DJ Moore touchdown again. 250 yards passing, amazing fourth quarter and overtime, basically amazing second half out of Caleb Williams' Chicago Bears. 11-4. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year you would have said it's Green Bay, Detroit's gonna be number 1, Green Bay's gonna be 2, the Bears are gonna be number 3, and then the Vikings gonna be 4, just because of the whole JJ McCarthy thing. But man, I had Chicago having a winning record. I didn't have them making the playoffs, but I had them having a winning record for this season. But again, tremendous job by the Chicago Bears. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about these 2 games, and how you guys felt about the Eagles at the Commanders, and how you guys felt about the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Please hit the like button, subscribe button to the YouTube channel for more great content coming up. Until next time, guys, see you real soon.